there, it's Dave Duford from Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com, where I help agents like you succeed in selling final expense. And in today's video, I am just finishing up a coaching session with my agent, James. And James, if you're listening, greetings and salutations. And from Knoxville. And so today we went out in the field and I showed him the ropes. Kind of gave him some tips and strategies on doing better appointment setting. We just got done off of a session of calling to set appointments for final expense leads. Also door knocked a few appointments, set some presentations, wrote a couple of policies, and kind of want to talk about what we really spent our time doing. Jeez, it's bumpy here, guys. Sorry about this. So in this video, what we're going to talk about are some of the tips that I shared with James regarding door knocking, and kind of some recommendations I would make to you if you door knock at all, whether it's for final expense leads or whether it's for cold calling. It all kind of sort of works. So some door knocking that I think are crucial. So first of all, when you door knock at the door, I like to park my car in the driveway. The reason I like doing that is because it looks like I'm there and I'm somebody they may know versus somebody who just randomly walks up to the house and doesn't have a car parked in front of it. I think that makes an impact that's a little bit more, or a little less sketchy, I guess you could say. Another thing I like to do, prove if this works, but I think it works well, I leave my car door open, I leave my car on. So if somebody's looking out the door wondering who I am and they see my car door open, it gives the impression that I'm not there to like become friends and stick around for a long time. So that way I kind of get started doing something and they look and they're like, okay, this guy's not here, or it's going to be a while or anything like that. So that's cool. The other thing I do, make sure that you door knock first instead of ring the doorbell. So there's an old saying that strangers ring the doorbell and friends knock on the door. Now, I do believe how you door knock the door is important. I don't think you should do a little girly door knock, you know, like tap, tap, tap. You know, that's going to be probably missed by these half-deaf seniors anyway. You need to knock like a police officer. Now, it's funny, James was talking about something about a haircut and a shave. And that's the old dun, 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 dun. But I always thought that kind of sounds like what I would hear from a typical salesperson. I want to sound like a cop because cops and people who knock on the door authoritatively get their door answered because people go and think, who is this knocking at our door? It sounds serious. It sounds somebody that's authoritative. So I always knock 7 to 11 times, rock hard. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like that, nice and hard and strong. And so the idea there is to get their attention. I actually had somebody accuse me or not berate me, but get on my case because they're like, man, I thought you were a cop. You shouldn't knock on a door like that. And I said, well, that's why I do it, because you answer. So knock with authority. The other thing is, if you see a carport or a side entrance, most people use their side entrance instead of their front door. A lot of people pack a bunch of crap in front of the front door. So a lot of times it's just completely inaccessible. So always try the carport door first, if not second. If you try and nobody answers the front door, try the side door. You can try the back door too, and you know, do your thing like that. Although if you got a fence back there or dogs, you know, obviously don't risk your life. But yeah, try all the doors that you can to potentially access the person. Now, what do you do when the person comes to the door? Well, I'm all about body language. I think people figure you out in a matter of a second or two. And so when somebody answers the door, like I got my glasses on, I want my eyes wide, all right? I'm like, hey, you know, if you're open and your eyes are wide, maybe not lazy eyes like me, but if you're squinty and if you look, you're kind of shifty in your eyes, if you're not smiling, people are not going to really trust their instincts when they see you. But if you appear and act as if you're open and you're engaging these people, looking them straight in the eye, you've got positive body language that's focused right towards them. You're not off to the side, kind of like looking over your shoulder. You're looking directly at them. You're creating a strong connection. It cannot be overstated how important it is. You have to have presence when you're dealing with somebody. Ideally, when somebody opens the door, you stick your hand out and you say, hey, how you doing? I'm Dave Duford. Shake their hand. reach for a body connection. Body connection is huge. People who shake hands, especially from the start of anything, it is a respectful way to begin a conversation. So if you can get your hand in there and shake their hand, do it. You don't have to be aggressive by getting in front of them, but just say, hey, how you doing? Offer it in a friendly way. If they turn you down, no big deal. They're probably jerks, and you didn't do anything to make them that way. So what you say after that, after you establish, this all happens within the first second or two with your body language. The second thing you got to do is say, hey, introduce yourself and tell them why you're here. So what I always like to say is, hey, my name is David Duford. I'm here because you sent this card in, and I usually point to it on the placard. And I say, you know, most people send this in because they're looking for information on final expense coverage. The reason I'm here right now is because I'm in between appointments. I had 5 minutes to show you how this works and wondered if I could come in and do it. So the thing here, the best excuse to knock on the door, because some people are like, why did you just show up? Why don't you set an appointment? So what's kind of going through their mind. I always tell them, look, I'm here because I was just in between appointments. And the implication is you're right around the corner. You're a very busy person. If you're in appointments, it means you've got a couple of them. And you're just trying to do your job to best get everything situated for the client. So that's the best script I've ever used. And I tell them that it's earnest because I am in between appointments. And even if you don't have any appointments, well, you had an appointment to leave the house, you have an appointment to go home tonight. So, I mean, technically you're in between appointments, right? So I like this verbiage. It makes you sound like you're in demand. It makes you sound like you're busy and you just need a few minutes to do your job. Of course, the call to action, the close, that you always should be closing is, can I come in, or can I show you this, or whatever your script is works fine. Just make sure you ask for action. The goal when you do a door knock is to get in the door, by the way, immediately. You don't want to wait. You don't want to have to come back if at all possible. However, there's going to be times when you do. If you have to come back, always book for the day after, okay? Don't ever book 2 days or beyond. You may have to cut corners every once in a while, but really stick to the I only book for the following day. And feed them 2 times, assumptive close. How would 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock work? If they can't make those times, that's fine. I do nighttime appointments too. How's 5 o'clock or 7? What would work best for you? Always be trying to close for some time. Feed them the time. Stay in control of those times to give them those specific times to do it. You know, if somebody's kind of like, oh, I'm about to jump in the shower, or, oh, my house is messy, tell them, you know, all you have to say, it's just like setting appointments, guys. Just say, hey, that's totally fine. I just need 5 minutes to show you how this works. This is no big deal. It's no obligation. If you like it, great. If not, you can toss me out. We'll still be friends. How about that? So just, you can use the same rebuttal pattern. Just look them in the eye, smile when you're saying it, kind of have fun. I like to say, hey, if you like this, great. If not, you can kick me out. We'll still be friends. That usually gets them laughing, and I'm laughing too. And they can tell that there's no pressure with this. So if you can do that, it makes a big difference in my opinion. I think you'll see that there's going to be some results getting in the door. I'm very relaxed with this whole approach. I think that's key. You want to send a positive vibe to these prospects that you're here to help them out if they really need it. And if they don't, that's okay. But you've got something really important to show them. And it's just what you're really selling is the appointment to. Man, this is really important information. All you need is 5 minutes for me to show you how it works. How can I come in? You'll get a lot of appointments that way. One last note here, last tip here. As much as I like this script, and I think a basic script like this works because it's not so much the language, it's the enthusiasm, it's the connection, eye connection, body language, the energy level makes. I think that's 80% of this. 80% of the results come from that. The big thing you got to remember too, guys, is even when I'm doing these scripts, more than half the time the people are just waiting for me to shut up and have me come in the door. So again, a lot of it is just non-vocal. It's non-language. It's how you communicate. It's the connection you make, and people know instantly if they're going to like somebody or not. I know you're probably like that. I'm like that. I can sense that in a matter of 30 seconds or less, probably 5 to 10 seconds if I want to be honest. And so can these people. So trust the instinct. Practice good, immediate, positive, energetic stimulus when you talk to these people. Practice doing that. And I promise you, you'll immediately get people more so than if you start in any sort of negative, low energy type of fashion, and it will make a pretty big difference. My name is Dave Duford. You're watching Final Expense Agent Mentor YouTube channel, where I help agents succeed in selling final expense as well as other insurance products. If you like this kind of training, I've got all sorts of training like this and new videos Monday through Friday on topics ranging from final expense, insurance, sales, great insurance or sales related books that I like to share with my guys and my audience. If you like this video, thumbs it up, subscribe if you haven't already. And you're certainly welcome to comment below if you'd like to share a favorite door knocking tip, or if you have any questions at all about selling final expense. I'd be happy to help you. Again, Dave Duford here from Final Expense Agent Mentor. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.